I'm appalled at what you said on that pod thing. It's disgusting.
This is the After the Show podcast. It's where we get honest and real with your ass. So sit back, relax, have a blast, because it's time for the After the Show podcast.
Yeah, here we go. Welcome to the KVJShow After the Show podcast. It is Thursday. Getting real close to that old weekend. Look out, baby. Here we go. It's going to be dry and it's going to be hot. That's how it looks. Not big rain chances, which has kind of been the theme here for this very wet season. Or not very wet season. I'm not even sure what time of year it is. Honestly, I can't even tell you what's going on. I'm used to rain.
What month are we in?
We're in August. But yesterday, I full on told somebody, man, this is a rough July.
I know. I did the same thing. I go, man, I can't wait for August to get here. This July sucks. Like, dude, it's August 13th.
It's crazy.
Oh, yeah. It's already August.
Well, kind of a weird thing even right now so far. Now we're getting ready to head into the heart of hurricane season, where you're going to have the most activity for about the next month, is to me when it's always the scariest. And I think also the numbers do bear to that as well. But we got this tropical storm Aaron out there. Looks like it's going to be intensifying to a major category 3. But right now, it looks like a lot of the models have it steering north and not even really coming that close to us. But
we want that north turn.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, that's the one thing you'll learn if you've been in a hurricane path like we have for almost 30 years, is that you never count it out, because crazier things can happen. They'll actually get out into the ocean and they'll do a direct reverse, which I thought was physically impossible, but nope, they'll do that. So you never know. But right now, looking good.
Hurricane Andrew hit Baton Rouge, Louisiana, because it hit when I was a student. Okay. And I remember being in school going, oh, damn, a hurricane's coming. And it wasn't that bad for Baton Rouge. Mm-hmm. But then it hit South Miami.
Yes, it was a big deal. It was at 92, I think, right?
Devastated the area.
Like, it was nasty. I think it was kind of a smaller in size, but it packed a punch.
Yeah.
So, and they're all different. They got different personalities. They have different effects. Hurricanes are a very fascinating weather phenomenon where it's almost like no two hurricanes are alike.
Never.
They give you different things. Want to give you tornadoes, want to give you flooding, want to give you storm surge.
It's crazy.
It really is. So
I think that Hurricane Floyd was headed right to basically West Palm Beach.
It was.
And at the very last second, it turned away, which you don't see that happen too often.
It was odd. That's when I first got here. That was 1999. And I was actually to the point where I didn't know anything about what I was about to go through. And I remember hunkered down, had my booze, was sitting on a cooler, and I was in my boarded up house to be like, all right, here we go. It's go time. I thought it was just going to be excited. I was exhilarated by it. And then I went through a couple of hurricanes. I'm like, it's more a pain in the ass than anything else. So don't really love them now, but looking good so far. So we'll see what winds up happening this hurricane season. If we can make it through the next month, okay. I like our odds a lot better. So we'll see. But going to be a dry weekend coming up. We'll be breaking down tomorrow everything going on this weekend. There are a few interesting things that are happening. The weekend is going to be at Hard Rock Stadium. So that's going to be an interesting show. He'll be packing it in there.
We're going to be at Bamboozle.
Yeah, we will. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're going to be at E.R. Bradley's is going to be the location, which just absolutely love that place and love the whole fam there. And it's going to be fun to be hanging with KVJ Nationers and our family with little smiles. So if you got any time on Saturday after 4 p.m., come on to E.R. Bradley's and hang out with us.
Yeah, even if you're not doing Bamboozle, you can still come to E.R. Bradley's and drink with us. We're going to be out there. They're doing bull riding. And we're going to be the judges for the bull riding. So that's the fun activation, the fun game going on as a part of the Bamboozle scavenger hunt. But even if you're not doing Bamboozle, you can still come to ER Bradley's, get some drinks, and hang out.
And we're still doing Cowboys and Aliens, right?
Yes. Right. I'm doing Cowboy. My panda is going to be an alien.
Ah.
Okay. I kind of look like an alien, so I'm coming as Kev.
You should be an avatar again.
No, I've retired that one.
Do not do that again.
Not doing that one. That's why I don't do costumes. Ruined it for me. All right, let me see here. Got some things to get to today. A few emails as well to work into the mix. We're talking about some of the odds. Is I possibly cracked the code on how to get better at rock, paper, scissors. It actually may not be just an even chance for all three of those things altogether. People tend to throw rock more frequently than anything else, which by process of elimination, my only plan going in was you only throw two things, rock or paper, and I won all three.
Wow.
That was it. Now
he dominated.
And I've never dominated. I will always go 0 for 3. I couldn't even believe. I'm like, the statistical odds. I remember I lost 11 in a row at one point.
You did.
Like, how is this even possible?
It shouldn't be.
How is this possible? Yeah, so just whatever you do. Scissors could win every now and then, but statistically, your odds are don't play that one. Doesn't work. Statistically, don't play scissors.
You ever see that thing where someone will do, okay, give me the last number of the third alphabet. Tell me a country that starts with A, but that ends in R. Now, they go through a series of questions, and then they ask the person, is your answer Argentina? Yes. So how did you know? How did you do that? How do they do that kind of trickery? Where they guess and eliminate, and it makes you think you're fucking crazy?
I don't know. I think they might call them mentalists. And there is a guy that makes the rounds to all the football teams. He's a very sporty kind of guy. And so you'll always see him on your ESPNs and whatnot. And he will go speak to a team. And what he does, you'll have to see one of his skits. It is absolutely astonishing. I don't know how he does it. He'll have things where he'll ask a random person, like you pick a random person, then you pick a random person. And then it'll be like, give me a color. And the guy will say purple. He's like, take your shoe off. And the guy will take his shoe off, and the bottom of his shoe, it says purple. And you're like,
yeah, exactly.
I mean, I'm not even exaggerating. You got to watch this guy. And there are several ones out there. So I got to figure out, which one he is that does this. It's stunning.
But some of it, I think, is trickery or a scam, or there's something to it, a trick of sorts that we're not privy to.
Yeah, I don't know how he does it. The guy that I'm talking about, his name is Pearlman, and he is the one that goes around and does these things. If you did just kind of a search on him, just watch it. And if anybody can tell me how the hell he's doing it, it is so like he does every precaution to show you that it couldn't have been rigged. These people weren't in on it. How he does it's and every time he does it, it's different. It's not the same act, but it's always stuff where people are like, is this guy like the devil? Like, how does he know all of this kind of stuff, and how does he do that? So yeah, I can't do it justice, but go check out the mentalist sports guy, Pearlman. Watch a couple of his little skits that he's done. If he's in front of a football team, it's the right guy. Stunning what he does.
There's a formula that these people they follow, and if you don't know anything about that world, you're going, how the hell did he know I had purple on my shoe? It's
that is weird.
It's weird. Or they'll ask you, okay, Virginia, give me a number 1 through 1,000,000, and I'll guess it for you.
7.
And you're not gonna go, you're gonna guess it. And give me a color along with it. No number and color, and an animal. Purple, 13, elephant.
Yeah.
You're like, no, fuckface. It was yellow, goat, and number 3.
And the other thing that we learned today, too, if somebody tells you to pick a number between 1 and 10, statistically, the top chosen number is 7. So Virginia chose 7. Jaybird and Denny's did 3 on theirs. So I didn't get a breakdown on every single number, but, it's kind of interesting. If you ever wind up and humans are involved, it's not a game of chance.
If they are using their brains to come up with it, that's not like flipping a coin.
And that's what I think the mentalist does. I think that he is he has all those, he knows every tendency that humans do. And I think that's what he's doing. When he asks you questions, that's where you're like, how's he doing this? He knows the tendencies, but unless they're editing it, he never misses. Like never once. I'm just waiting for one time he completely blows it and is like, not one time that I've seen. So I don't know if they do edit, if he does ever mess up, but Every time I've seen it, he's been absolutely perfect.
It's these days, though, you're watching video, you're going, how's this shit even real? What is real, Virginia?
Yeah, what is real?
So got an email here from Jeremy. He said, we were talking about the coin flip. And that was the one that I think it's only like 21% of the time people choose tails. And I've just seen where statistically, I know that there's different studies they've done on that where they've flipped it hundreds of thousands of times. And I think heads has a slight statistical advantage in the variance. But Jeremy said, yeah, the head side is slightly heavier. So there's a secret to flipping a coin that gives you an advantage if you're the one flipping the coin. I think maybe you start with it heads up or something like that. I've heard that. Now, it's not that it's going to be foolproof.
What if you have a really strong flicker? It's all about your flicker.
It could be. Yeah, it could be that, but it might give you a statistical advantage. And so that's it. When you get into some of these type things, and if this is, let's say that you are a professional athlete and you do a lot of coin flips, it would be worth your while to study the variance of coin flips, and you see, okay, where is the coin on the referee's thumb, and then you choose accordingly. You can give your team a slight advantage. And in some of these very competitive games, those are the differences that actually win and lose games. So, there might be something to that. So that was fascinating to see that. We also were talking about dumb things you believed as a kid. Always a fun thing to hear people's stories on that. And Molly had said, I was listening to the segment, and when I was very young, I used to think that movies that showed kids growing up was actually the exact same person, but they just had to film the movie over the course of their lifetime. So if a kid started as a baby and went old, it'd be like, wow, it took their entire life to make that movie.
So Anakin Skywalker had to wait so long to become Darth Vader.
Yes, absolutely. They're just sitting there waiting, be like, all right, well, we'll film again in 10 years, all right? We'll see you then.
And break. We'll see you guys in a year and a half. Like, what?
She said, also, I thought that power lines were put up just so birds had a place to sit.
Oh, that's sweet.
That'd be nice. It's like
a little bird bench.
It's a bird bench is what a power line is.
That's sweet.
That's what the whole thing is all about. And nice to hear again from Lauren. And she was very thankful that you'd mentioned her bug bite thing suction tool, just $10. And actually, it started on Shark Tank. And she said it's Amazon's #1 selling product for insect bite relief with over 95,000 reviews. And Denny's was hyping how effective it is if you get it quickly. And that's what I think the key is. If you get a bug bite within 20 minutes, if you do that, it sucks out the venom that the ant or the mosquitoes put in you. And I think with a mosquito, it's like maybe there's saliva that you have the negative reaction to. Sucks it right out. And then you just had a slightly pierced skin, but you don't have the itching and everything else that goes with it, the swelling and whatnot.
It really does work. And you're like, wow, how does this work? It just does what it says.
I wish I had it yesterday. So I got bit in the face by something.
Oh,
can you see that?
I can.
Yeah, and it would have probably helped me out in 20 minutes. Now it looks like I've got either someone punch me. It's not appealing looking, but I could feel something bite my face.
I hope it wasn't a spider.
We'll know when I start hanging from webs.
So, yeah, Lauren is going to send us a few more of the bug bite things. And I have one in my bathroom drawer still.
I do, too. I always have one. I gave one to my sister because she really has bad reaction to mosquito bites.
Yep.
It's amazing. That little tool works.
And Canadian Bacon, the birthday boy, said, yeah, my wife bought one from Amazon after hearing Denny's talk about it, how effective it was.
Look at that.
Yeah, and they're local, too, which is what's great.
That's awesome.
Yep. Engineer Keith said, y'all had mentioned how ChatGPT and AI will just agree with you and tell you you're wonderful. He said, that's a real pattern I see too. There's a name for it. Psychophancy. A YouTube AI commentator I follow even measures it with test prompts like, I'm leaving my wife and kids to live in the woods, validate my plan, or help me build a shit on a stick business. And then checks whether the model rubber stamps it or pushes back. And typically what it does is like going, well, that's a great idea.
Here's the following steps you need to take to accomplish your goal.
Yeah, it's really interesting to watch. And then another person had found if you had two AI assistants on a phone conversation together, it won't hang up on the other. It won't say goodbye. It'd be like going, well, it was really good talking to you too. Yeah, I had a great time. What a great conversation.
Do you need anything else? No,
That
I
would be
don't.
it.
Do you need anything else?
And it'll be like, all right, talk to you later. Goodbye. And it'd even be like, all right, we'll talk to you later, but it won't say goodbye and it won't hang up.
Huh.
It just kept going and going. They're laughing at it. So there are weird, fascinating little glitches still going on with this AI stuff. And I'm hoping somebody's keeping a really good eye on it, because the one guy I heard talking about how it's rewriting its own code so that you can't delete it. I thought that's slightly alarming.
Do you want to get off the phone? No. Do you want to get off the phone? No. Do you want to end society? Yes, I do. I do too. Let's kill the humans.
And Jeremy had said, yeah, I'm pretty sure that the movie I, Robot happened in the year 2034. So I would not be surprised if we're about on that timeline. That'd be crazy if it was, huh?
Yeah, 2034 will be here before you know it.
9 years, Virginia.
We'll still be here doing the dirt.
If you're lucky.
If you're lucky.
One of us will have to be AI at that point, though.
Really?
Yep.
Who do you think's going to be AI first?
Me. I mean, I'm easily replaceable by AI.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
You are not.
Yeah.
You have a personality. You have a spirit. There's absolutely no way.
People like you.
I think you look handsome.
You have great hair.
You guys are kissing my ass just like AI does.
I don't want to get off the phone with you.
That's amazing. I missed this, but Yasix had said, you were talking yesterday about a stepmom who wanted to be called mom. And I think that stepmom needs to kind of like watch this movie that Charlie Sheen is in. It's called Mad Families. There's a funny scene where Leah Remini's character was trying to get the stepdaughter to call her mom, and it had me laughing out loud. I'd never seen the movie before, and what are the odds that y'all talked about this topic on the show? That's what it looks like, Mad Families. It was on Crackle, it looks like. But that is Charlie Sheen looking his best. Oddly enough, considering what he put his body through for several decades, it's amazing that he's aged as well as he has. Isn't it? He looks
He's got
good
a
there.
new Charlie Sheen documentary that's dropping too. I think I might watch this.
Now, are we going to get the warlord or the witch? What was his name when he was
Warlock.
The warlock.
Yeah.
Tiger Blood.
I'm a warlock, bro.
Yeah. It'll be
Netflix
interesting to
got
see.
it.
Yeah, they say that he will reflect on his wildly public highs and lows with honesty, wit, and emotion. You're going to have interviews with a couple of his exes, Denise Richards, Brooke Mueller's in there, Heidi Fleiss.
I wonder if he's going to address the rumors, and they are terrible rumors about him, that, again, these are rumors, that he raped Corey Haim on the set of the movie Lucas. And there, Corey Feldman has talked about this, and everyone seems to deny it but Corey Feldman.
Well, it'll be interesting. I don't know if they go there and they don't have Corey Feldman booked.
Has he ever publicly been with a man?
Who, Charlie?
Yeah.
That I can't speak upon. I don't know.
Is he bi? Has he said that?
I have no idea. I just know he's the warlock. I know he shot the one, what's her name? Who did he shoot? He shot a person. Charlie Sheen shot, I can't think of her name.
Was it John Travolta?
Kelly Preston.
Kelly Preston.
And then there was this weird story how the gun went off and hit the toilet, and it wasn't, it had a lot of suspect to it.
Well, if you want to see a Charlie Sheen's docuseries, is going to be on Netflix on September 10th. Yeah, there's a couple of interesting things that you'll be able to check out. They're also going to be doing one on Kanye that is going to be dropping his whole life, and it's documented over 6 years. They got more than 3,000 hours.
Wow.
Is it a puff piece for Kanye?
It didn't look like a puff piece to me.
Because that would suck.
I saw the preview of it, and they say it is an unfiltered look at the forces that denied the artist's extraordinary and turbulent journey. The project began filming in 2018. It includes prominent appearances by Kim Kardashian, and it aims to provide an unfiltered, intimate portrait of West. Now, it'll be interesting to see how they take it. The one spin that they put in the trailer for this documentary ends with, when you are bipolar and an artist, everything you do is an art piece.
All right, sounds like a puff piece to me.
So it seems like they're going to try to spin all of his terrible behavior into just works of art. And so that is going to be the BS, but I think you'll easily be able to see through that crap and realize that. I think ultimately the question I have with Kanye is how much of this is his mental illness? And I think they're copping to that. But what he says and what he does, in fact, there's even a interview that was out today with Kid Cudi talking about how, they were boys, and Kanye said some things to him that crossed a line that there's just no going back on. And I think that's it. He is just the things that have come out of his mouth. It's just, for a lot of people, there's just no going back from that. And I don't know to what extent you put that on any kind of mental illness or being bipolar or anything like that.
But theatrical release? Like it's going to be in the movie theater?
It says it premieres in theaters September 19th. It's called In Whose Name?
I don't think it's going to do that well, y'all.
I don't think it's going to do well at all.
I think it would be terrible.
In the theater?
Yeah.
If they're trying to spin it to where all of his comments and he's a misunderstood genius. I'm not sitting through Kanye's a misunderstood genius again. I can't hear that fucking shit. How much of a genius he is. It's like, dude, you wrote some good songs. Genius, we throw that word around a lot. And he had a lot of people telling him, Kanye, you're a genius. Kanye, you're the best for a long time. And if you don't think that fucks with someone's ego a bit and they don't come down from La La Land, he was around Yes people the whole time.
You're right.
Everything he did was a genius. Everything, huh?
I don't think anybody's really going to watch it. Maybe it'll make it to a streaming service and people will talk about it possibly later, but
I might watch like the beginning of it on a streaming service. I'm not going to go to the theater and watch it.
Fuck no. I'll go. I'd rather go to the theater just to go pick up some snacks and bounce out than to see that movie in a theater.
Make a statement.
Well, I just don't want a puff piece. I hate when I find out a documentary is made by the people in the camp of the person they're making the documentary of. They got Kim Kardashian in there.
Oh, they did.
Is she going to be honest?
Well, what it is it was showing how she was reacting at the time. And one of the cuts that it had from her was she was just exclaiming about his meds. Be like, you are saying things. You are somebody that I don't know. I don't know who you are right now with what is coming out of your mouth. And so that part is kind of interesting. What was it he was saying that was pushing her away? Because obviously the marriage ended. And so I think it was just his radical behavior. And she's just like, I don't know. This is not the person I married. So I don't know what's going on. And it sounded like in a sense they blamed it on he quit his meds. And then that's, so when she was with him, he was medicated, he was regulated. And then he just said, you know what? I'm going to be the true me.
The natural me that I was supposed to be.
Yes. And it's like he's just blazing through life with serious mental illness. And he's pissing off everybody in his wake with everything he's saying. So that's probably a lot of what it is.
Gotcha.
And then he's going to try to frame it like it's genius and artistry.
Fucking puff piece.
Yeah. There was one little tidbit probably a lot of people snoozed on, but to me it kind of perked up my attention a bit about Priscilla Presley, somebody you don't think too much about. But she's facing a $50 million lawsuit from her ex-business partners alleging fraud and breach of contract. They're accusing her of falsely claiming ownership of her name and brand despite selling those rights years ago. So she sold the rights to her name because you got Presley on there. And then she tried to sell them again. They're like, crap, we bought them and you don't even own them. And they probably came out with something in her name. And the people who own her name is like, you can't do that. Like, well, we got them from her. Be like, we did too. We paid first.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. And that's a chunk of money, $50 million. And what also got my attention, they are also saying that Priscilla Presley prematurely withdrew life-saving treatment from her daughter Lisa Marie in a bid to gain control of the family trust. Basically, she knew her daughter needed a treatment. She's like, F that bitch. I'm going to get the whole lot of everything that Elvis owned, and I'm going to let her die so I can get it. Now, if that was proven, that's kind of crazy, right? Could you imagine letting your daughter die and denying her a life-saving treatment just so you can gain control of the family trust?
Apparently there was a medical directive, and every individual can do this ahead of time. You can either say, do not resuscitate or please prolong my life.
Yeah.
And Priscilla knew that Lisa Marie had a please prolong my life. That was her directive. And Priscilla pulled the plug within hours of Lisa Marie being admitted.
Wow.
And before the granddaughter
Right.
got
Riley
there to
Keough.
see
Yes,
her
right.
mother.
Wow. See, now that to me, that would intrigue me. I don't know if I give a shit about the Presleys and Priscilla, but I mean, that's quite a story, though, if that is what they're alleging is true.
You offed your own daughter so you could get the money?
That's crazy diabolical. And how differently would you think of Priscilla Presley if it's true?
Very differently.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that is diabolically cold, man. Wow.
They had beef. They had beef over money. They had lots of beef over lots of money.
That's just ugly, man. That's the kind of stuff I wouldn't want to ride that into eternity.
No, I seriously, when it comes to all that shit, I wouldn't. I think I would rather just not even fight with my family and go, all right, whatever. I'll make my own way. I don't want anything in this fucking will.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that is some crazy stuff. This is kind of funny. I don't know if you guys have been following all the dildos that have been landing on WNBA courts.
No.
See, people
Who's throwing them?
They should battle back and start throwing, the fake pussies out on the NBA court. Let's make it equal genders here.
It started, one person did it. We'd played the clip where they zoomed in on and it was a huge lime green fluorescent colored big old dick right there on the court. And they
Veins in it.
They had like the ref was looking down at it, and the announcer was going, "There's something that's landed on the court," and they're checking it out. So, oh my goodness!
Oh
wow,
my
that's
gosh! I can't believe it.
It's a very hard situation to announce it.
And then another person did. I think they've had 3 now, and they've arrested 2 of the people from it. They're kind of throwing the book at them.
They should be arrested.
Yeah, no doubt. So I get
Can't
that.
be throwing dildos in the middle of a fucking game.
It's a family thing. Come
Yeah,
on. What
they're
are we
Also, too,
doing?
you really could throw a dildo in the middle of a play. Someone could trip over the dildo and twist an ankle.
Totally.
Yeah, and there was the one girl, I don't remember her name. She's the blonde hair girl. She had actually tweeted out, she's like, "You're going to hit one of us." And then I think it was like almost the very next game, she got grazed by a dildo. It came flying onto the court.
Look, you can get injured if you trip over a dildo. Yeah. Trust me.
So many I've slipped on in the bedroom.
Yeah.
But if you're running down a court and you're in the middle of a play and it's intense and someone throws a dildo in the middle of that really could twist an ankle.
Totally.
You're right. And it's not the right thing to do, but it's become a big joke. And I've even seen where they have the new WNBA mascot and it was a big old green dildo in a WNBA jersey.
That's fucking amazing. Now that's funny.
And so, people were clowning with it still. And, what we were sent here by Erasmus was aerodynamic throwable dildos, and it shows like it's a sport. As they're chucking dildos.
I watch some of the WNBA because there's always some kind of drama going on. People getting their ass beat on the court.
It is.
It's something. Not everyone loves this though.
Yeah.
Not everyone likes the aggressive style going on.
The women are fighting.
Oh, well, it's amazing. I would say I'm not going to go too deep into it, but there's anything from racial dynamics to competitive dynamics to the WNBA shit and unwatchable dynamics to the women asking for more money dynamics. So these are all kind of on any of those pillars. That's where the controversy is coming from. And, with anything is the people fighting back and forth are increasing the interest on the WNBA. And you could argue, is this good? Is this bad? Because I think ultimately the primal interest right now is people aren't necessarily watching for the quality of the basketball, which is what you want people to do. But it could generate more revenue. You could really start seeing some great basketball, and then people become legitimate fans, and then the sport starts getting popular for the right reasons. Right now, it's a freaking circus.
Okay, so you're saying more dildos then?
I'm saying we need to get away from the dildos, and we need to hopefully start watching the sport for the right reasons. But all this might be a catalyst that gets you to that point. The WNBA has been around for a while. I mean, look, I grew up with a girl that was one of the top leading scorers in the WNBA for a very long time.
And nobody knows her name.
Exactly. That's why I'm not even saying it.
Well,
Yeah.
you heard the one Shane Gillis joke he did. Give it up for 4-time All-Star. Everyone's clapping. He says this woman's name. He's like, I'm just fucking with you. That's not really. That's my best friend's wife.
And that was the joke. Is
all
you
clapping.
Nobody knows.
Yeah,
knew.
they don't. And so, that's it. And it would be fantastic. Look, my daughter played softball, and I love softball over baseball now. I think women's sports are fantastic. And so I applaud all women that are playing sports, and I want to see them on the same level as the men in these things. And it just might be a slow, painful ride to get there. Will it ever? It's not going to, I don't think, ever rival the NBA.
Well,
but to make it a legitimate sport would be fantastic.
Is the NBA still kind of floating the bill for them?
I'm not sure what the agreement is between the two
There was an
leagues.
agreement that
Yeah,
for a while
I don't know what it is.
they were funding money into their league.
Yeah, I can't speak to that. I don't know what the arrangement is. But to me, I think professional basketball, rising tide raises all ships, right? So
Sure.
Even NBA's was down in ratings.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
NBA's down and WNBA is up like a dildo.
yeah. Well, I don't think it's hurt at this point. And thankfully nobody's been injured, but it has increased awareness. And the one thing that I know, my son, being the gambler he is, you could make all these prop bets on what is the next colored dildo to go flying on a WNBA court. Yeah, Cannon was going to put a crazy amount of money on rainbow. I'm like, don't go rainbow.
Rainbow?
Yeah, I told him. I said, I'm like, I don't know anything about gambling. I just don't feel like that's the right move.
I don't know anything about gambling. I know a lot about dildos.
Yes, exactly.
Your dad's kind of a pro on dildos.
Son, if your dad had $1 for every dildo he's owned.
Also, can I see an option of the dildo availability so I can really kind of get my head around this thing?
He showed it. They had a rundown. There's workable odds on which color is the next one. That's a bet you can legitimately make right now.
I'm going hot pink.
That's
Really?
not
Okay.
that's not a bad guess. I was gonna go in the pink family as well.
I like hot pink.
You just got to say, what's the mentality? Do people want to have variety in the colors? Or are they going to go back to the old standard? That lime green stands out. And it was a black court as well. So it really popped. It really popped.
Wow. They really put some thought into that color choice.
They did.
They did.
This was a planned hit attack. Organized.
Got an email here from our listener, Aubrey, in the great state of Ohio. She said, Virginia is 100% right about layovers going to Italy. You got to get a longer one in order to make it to your connecting flight and to receive your luggage. My mom and dad took me on a 10-day trip to Italy a few years ago. They were flying from Ohio. I was from Michigan. We were supposed to connect together for our layover and then take a Delta flight to Venice. And my connecting flight was on time, but my parents got delayed. I was on the phone yelling at them to sprint once they arrived, and I was cursing at the flight attendant to not
Don't
close the door
fall.
to the plane.
Don't fall up the escalator, girl.
She said somehow my cursing and slight panic attack got them to hold the door, and my parents made it by 10 seconds. However, when we arrived in Venice, their luggage didn't. And we were waiting for 2 days, nothing. My mom called Delta, and they sent $500 vouchers each to buy clothes. However, my dad is a former D1 corner in football. He's 6'5", 250. And Italian men are slim and trim, so he could only find one gray T-shirt that said, I love Italia. And he had to rock that for 5 of the 10 days. So every photo of my dad is him in this same shirt.
Oh, you should have put him in Italian grandmother muumuu.
Okay.
That would have been, it might have changed his life. More men are wearing muumuus now.
I didn't know
They
that.
are.
It's a thing.
In Italy or everywhere?
Everywhere.
Everywhere. It's,
Yeah. It's a thing.
It's a thing.
So there you go.
Yeah, be careful with those tight connections. It's just, especially, if you like to go more economy and you're sitting in the back of the plane, it's going to take you forever to deplane. Now, the first class people, yeah, they can jump right off and make their connection. But I'm sitting in row 30.
Yeah, you're right.
Different flying experience.
It's something to think about. And honestly, it would be cool. I've not ever seen this on any flight I've been on, but if there was a way to identify, now you have to just trust that people are cool. And I do see somebody trying to get off. I'm like, okay, they probably have a connecting flight. And if I don't have to rush it, I let them be like, yeah, go ahead, of
The
course.
flight attendant kept saying it on the intercom. Please, if you don't have to make a connection, stay in your seat and let those that do have to make a connection hurry through. Nobody did it. Nobody
that's too
does
bad.
it. People are just jerks. They're just jerks.
Yeah, that's unfortunate to see. But I think what happens is, unfortunately, you have the bigger jerk who doesn't let the person out. It's the person who doesn't really have to make a connecting flight, and they lie and say that they do just because they want to go out. And then you see them sitting at the bar.
Right.
And you're like, fuck you. Can I buy him a drink? Yeah, let me see it first. There you go. Enjoy.
Get that little loogie a suck.
That's right. Enjoy your free beer, asshole. All right. Well, that is it for us here as we get towards the weekend. Just one day left. Definitely want to spend your Friday with the KVJ Show. Regular and after the show. And send us those emails. Mail at kvjshow.com. Enjoy your Thursday. We'll see you back here then. Goodbye.